Today, we're once again talking about the CT scanning company that is offering this as a service to scan through your cards, because they've come out with a bit more information specifically around Flawless that has maybe resulted in a local card store potentially being exposed. I'll get to my thoughts on that because I think it could be smoke and mirrors, but I want to bring it to your attention in case you guys can maybe help dig a little bit further. Now, if you're not sure what I'm referring to when it comes to this story, I've done a few videos on this. This is the company in question that is now offering it as a service. You can sort of see here, about a month ago, I did quite a few videos talking about this because it's quite a huge problem. It started, with this video over here that both Neo Cards and Comics and I covered from guys out in China using CT machines to scan through cases of Flawless. And then all of a sudden, a company came out locally within the US saying, you know what, we're going to actually start offering this. And guess what? This has actually been happening for a few years and we've got evidence to show that. And I covered that essentially in the last few videos, like I said, including the company offering this as a service. Now, what sort of popped off in the last few days, and again, if you're not sure the price points, this is what they are. Their website is called industrialinspection.com. But what sort of happened in the last few days actually was that this company has put out even more information about some of the things they're actually scanning. So somebody has clearly sent in a sealed case, or at least box, of Flawless, and they've shown that in fact you can scan through it. So it's a sealed case actually, because you can see two briefcases. Now, this was posted by the guys from Sports Card Madness. So this is Boston Card Hunter, the guy that did the interview with the company, if you guys recall in the last video. And it confirms what we already knew, that you can scan through cases of Flawless and actually identify the cards. Now, this is obviously important because it gives us even more confirmation that this is in fact possible, even though, like I said, when we touched on this maybe 6 weeks ago, we already knew for a fact that you can scan through sealed cases of Flawless. But this just shows that off the back of this information becoming maybe a bit more mainstream, people are actively doing it. And basically what that means is that, you're a dummy if you're buying into these cases or breaks or anything like that for any year of Flawless, because people are clearly sending it in to this company. And, as I sort of explained in my last video, this company is talking about wanting to maintain ethics and do the right thing. But you can sort of see here, they've put this information out there and they've hidden the serial number and they've hidden the autograph. Now, obviously people are sort of using this because they want to maintain that anonymity. But like I explained in the last few videos, the only really reason you want to do that is because you don't want people to know what you're doing, because you want to sell these things to people, unsuspecting. You want to keep the good hits for yourself and sell the dud crap to the guys out there, or to the breakers out there, or to the poor customers out there. So the fact they've not named and shamed it is pretty piss poor, in my opinion, pretty disappointing, and, is another, example of all the bad things that happen in this space. Like I said last time, this company is well within their rights to make as much money as possible and sort of, charge what they want and all that kind of thing, and say, well, if we weren't going to do it, somebody else would. But, like I said last time, maintain some ethics for yourself. Who cares if somebody else is going to do it? You can draw that line in the sand and say, what, this is unacceptable. And if you want to do it, we're going to name and shame you. We're going to put the list out there because we want this to be as transparent as possible. Obviously that's not happening, but again, further reminder that you can't be buying into this stuff anymore. It's clearly sabotaged. We know it's been happening for a long time. I heard stories all the way back in like 2015, 16. We've got confirmation now. The fact that it's more mainstream means it's going to be even more pervasive, even more people are going to do it, which basically means, like I've said in countless videos now, you can't buy sealed wax anymore, especially of this value. That is obviously until the manufacturers sort their shit out and actually figure out how to stop it. Now, the reason why I want to talk about this again, and like I sort of said in the intro with a local card store potentially getting exposed, is that somebody commented on that post that I just referenced from Sports Card Madness that said the following, like you can sort of see on screen. If money is involved, cheating is going on. Obviously, we know that now, especially in the modern hobby. Did you believe that the stores were selling boxes without knowing what they held? Fools. You're basically saying you're an idiot if you thought they weren't doing this. He says his local card shop buys time with a scanner from a hospital that had an equipment auction. 16 stores from 5 states show up every week to go ahead and use that service. And that doesn't sound entirely far-fetched to me, but I generally think this comment is this guy's just taking the piss and trying to stir up fake rumors and all that kind of thing, because I genuinely think if this was sort of actively happening to that scale with 16 stores involved, you'd probably have this information leak at some point in the past, because 16 stores, there's a number of employees that would have to be across this. There's probably people, wheeling and dealing off the back of this that would be involved in this. That's a lot of voices that are eventually going to talk and say something. And whilst in situations like this, you always think that people keep their lips shut because they want to make the money, right? They don't want to ruin the scam. But eventually, inevitably, someone talks, right? So I think this is a bit BS, but it could be true, right? I wouldn't be surprised if it was true, especially given that we know it's been happening for so long. So what I'm saying is just take it with a grain of salt, especially with sort of what happens next. So the guys from Sports Card Madness investigated this a little bit further and found that this guy's Instagram account was actually located in Tonawanda. And the reason why this is interesting, as a few people have explained in the comments, is that is where Dave and Adam Cardworld is located. So if you were to sit back and think, well, if there's a store that has the capital to do this kind of thing and sort of buy a CT scanner from an equipment auction from a hospital, it's probably them. Now, from the research I've done, because I don't really know where stores are located in the US, it's hard for me to know exactly where the states are because I'm obviously a foreigner. Doing a bit of research, it looks like that's where they were previously located. Maybe that's where their headquarters previously were and they are no longer located. If you check out their website, it looks like they're based in Williamsville, New York now, as opposed to this location, Tonawanda. So maybe it's not them. And you've got a lot of people that were tagging DA Cardworld in the comments and sort of saying that's where they're located, etc. But I just thought this was one of those things that's maybe I've watched this space because potentially we've got a local card store exposed here. Now, I will reiterate again, I'm not accusing DA Cardworld of doing anything, but it's just one to keep front of mind because, again, like I sort of explained in the last few videos too, if this is sort of happening, it would be happening at the higher end of town. And I think if it was also happening, it would be happening maybe not with a manufacturer directly. That does not make sense to me in terms of them giving hits to certain customers. It might be somebody in the distribution channel doing it. And that might explain why we see so many boxes with good cards in them go to certain people within the space when it comes to things like backyard breaks, to name a few. You know, if you've got somebody that's sort of hoarding all this product and then distributing it amongst breakers, and they've already gone ahead and researched what's actually within those boxes, and they're now a powerful person because they have that information, and some of these people buying it, you know, potentially know that, that's a lot of damage that can be done. So if I think this is actively happening to that scale, I think it's happening with somebody that is a distributor, in my opinion, rather than, you know, a large card store facilitating it. But that is also entirely possible, like I said. This has obviously been happening for a heck of a long time. I always thought that if it was maybe select few with some very high net worth individuals. But it's clear maybe that's not the case anymore, especially with what, you know, this company from Industrial Inspection has basically explained. They've talked through the fact that it's actually not that difficult to do, and sort of anybody that has access to this type of machinery can go ahead and do it for themselves. Now, obviously, you have to be an expert and sort of know what you're doing, and these guys apparently work for NASA, so they're maybe cream of the top or cream of the crop. But you guys, you know, get where I'm going. It's a dangerous game now. I don't think you can trust any sealed product anymore, especially when it comes to high value, because, you know, this company is obviously offering it. And I want to reiterate what I said earlier. The company, when they were in that interview with Sports Card Madness, basically said, you know, we sort of, no, this has been happening. We're good guys because we've made it mainstream. We know it's been happening. We're giving everybody an even playing field, and we want to do the right thing. And we sort of, you know, actively thought about maybe making this transparent, but we're going to work through that. We're just going to open it up now and start making money, but we're going to fix that later on. It's like, guys, you can't have it both ways. If you want to be maintaining sort of ethics and doing the right thing, you need to be implementing that from the start. And like I said a bit earlier too, the people in the comments on my last video saying this company is there to make as much money as possible, and if they weren't going to do it, somebody else would. Like I said last time, just because you could does not mean you should, right? You need to draw a line and set that standard and set that example. Who cares what anyone else is doing? Like we saw in that video the other day, that dodgy seller basically covering the damage with a sticker. You know, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Like, just because that guy got away with it, does that mean you should do the same thing? It's like, no. See it, call it out, push back on this crap, because people are getting burned. Again, like I said last time, this product is very expensive. You know, Flawless is, what, 40, 50 grand? I don't even know what it is these days, but it's expensive. It's so out of the price range of what I can afford that I don't really care what it sells for. But my mindset is, if I'm somebody that wants to go into a break, and you guys might not like breaking, I don't necessarily like breaking, but it's fun to do every now and then. There might be people out there that can buy into something that is like a once a quarter kind of thing, once a month that they do for a bit of fun. It's the only, you know, way they have a chance of getting a card of that value, and they can have a bit of fun doing it. That's their one shot. They go ahead and do it, but guess what? Dickheads out there have actually scanned the box, so you're screwed out of getting anything decent. It's just a bit crap, because at the end of the day, it's the poor customer, the average Joe, that is the one that has to cop the cost and bear the cost and gets hurt, because the guys at the top have all the money. They can play with the game as much as they want. They get to have all the cards in their favor and sort of rip us off. So, you know, it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about that local card store story. I think it's a bit of smoke and mirrors, to be perfectly honest. I think the guys may be just having a bit of fun with that comment. But it is perfectly possible that is in fact what is happening. So, it is what it is. Before I let you guys go, can I ask for a quick favor? I don't normally ask for likes or the fact that you guys turn notifications on, but the last couple of weeks has been a bit weird on my channel. It looks like the algorithm is doing something a bit funny. My views are down like 40, 50%, but the actual engagement is not. Like the comments are still really strong, and it seems you guys are liking my videos. So I'm not sure what YouTube is basically doing with not pushing my videos out. So if you guys could give it a like and actually maybe drop a comment down below or actually turn the notification bell on, that would be very much appreciated. Again, I don't do this channel for anything other than trying to help put information out there. You guys will know that by now, right? Especially if you are a regular. I've been doing this for over 3 years, and it's mainly there to try and, spread information about the BS that's sort of happening within this hobby. So, the fact that views are down obviously hurts my ego a little bit, but primarily this channel was here to help people. So the fact that all of a sudden we've got less eyeballs on it is a bit disappointing and concerning, because whilst there are a lot of people in this space right now doing the same content as me in terms of pushback and call out content and all that kind of stuff, there are very few of us that have been doing this for as long as I have, and that were the sort of OGs in the space, the guys that you can trust that have been doing this consistently and don't have, any, skin in the game in terms of sponsorships or anything like that. Some of these newer guys certainly do. So, I sort of don't want them to all of a sudden be controlling the narrative and not giving you guys a fair and balanced view like me and a few others do. So if you could do that, that would be very much appreciated. If not, that's all good too. No skin off my nose. If that's a saying, I don't know what the saying is. Anyway, it is what it is. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.